signing ceremony, as you can see, is evidenced by the pens and the compacts that we'll talk about in a moment, but there's an important point to be made about today's event, and that is that we live in a time of diminished resources and in a time also of increased expectations about government performance. We live in a time in which taxpayers demand more. We live in a time in which government transparency is at its highest, and folks expect it to be higher. So when we go about running cities, or in the case of the town of Dartmouth, towns, or in the case of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, we all believe strongly that being transparent, throwing the doors open to the daylight, planning well, making the most of taxpayer dollars, measuring what we do and letting the public know what we do is not only important, but that's what's expected in today's day and age. And there isn't I will add, there is an ideology one way or the other behind this. As Fiorello LaGuardia said in the 30s, there's no Republican or Democratic way to fill a pothole. You just have to do your job. And that's at the municipal level, we know we live and breathe by performance. And we are lucky to have great partners in the Baker-Polito administration that believe the same. Both Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito were, back in the day, local officials who had to answer in the most accountable way to the people that sent them there, the people that not only voted for them, but those same people who they ran into at the grocery store and on the playing field and everywhere else in town. Local officials are the most accountable of public officials. I heard the governor say this the other day, and he's absolutely right. And the approach of the Baker-Polito administration is still the same. It's at the state level, but they've taken that same approach to governing the entire Commonwealth. And for that, we're particularly grateful, because it's an approach that we subscribe to, and it's a great way for like minds to partner on important matters like this. We in New Bedford take great pride in having achieved a lot in the way of managing our affairs efficiently and effectively. And we believe very strongly that, as much as we've achieved things like the highest bond rating in the city's history, like being recognized by, among others, the Wall Street Journal as having the most installed solar capacity per capita of any city in the continental United States, there's more work ahead. And in a moment, I'm going to call Iris Sky up to talk about the particular initiatives that we have in mind for the compact. But the idea, and I'll leave it to the Lieutenant Governor to talk a little bit about the compacts, but this is really a terrific idea that she has been spearheading at the state level across the state. So not just here in Greater New Bedford with the City of New Bedford and the town of Dartmouth, which has been exceptional in the way it's been managed in the last several years, but all across the state. So with all that, with that wind up, I really just want to say, Lieutenant Governor, that we are pleased that you're here in Greater New Bedford to celebrate the partnership with New Bedford and the town of Dartmouth, and we really appreciate the partnership that your administration has struck with cities and towns all over the state to elevate everybody's game all together. So, without any further ado, Lieutenant Governor Karyn Polito.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
That one doesn't work.
I can see that. We'll just put that one away. So thank you. It's great to be here with Sean and with the mayor and our local leadership here in New Bedford. Thank you very much for coming here for our signing. I'm particularly excited, given that this is the 66th and 67th compact to be signed with a program that literally got off the ground with the turn of the fiscal year. But it started out as an extension of the governor's very first executive order, which was by design. We wanted the first executive order to be around the partnership between our cities and towns and state government. I think partly because of our experience as selectmen in our respective hometowns, but also because of what we heard on the campaign trail. And a lot of it was a learning about the gateway cities, knowing that New Bedford is a gateway city, building on the success of the prior administration and really understanding how to solve some of the issues in urban settings that have issues with income attainment and education barriers in large populations. But at the same time, we also heard about smaller communities and how do we help solve the issues in more suburban, rural communities, and also touch communities all the way in between from the Berkshires to the islands. And that's 351 cities and towns that really need a touch and a reliable and strong partner with state government. So the first executive order, and here comes the compact program, that was informed by a lot of meetings with managers and mayors throughout the state who came to us with ideas about best practices that they felt would be well received by local officials. And so we put together a best practices program. And what I love about this program, and I'm sure that you do too, is that it is a voluntary program. This is not a mandate. It's not something we are forcing you to do. It's voluntary, and it's funded. So there's resources that come with this program through a line item in the state budget. So we thank our legislative colleagues for supporting the funding for this project, and the technical assistance and the resources through our cabinet secretaries. So literally, it's a voluntary program of best practices that came to us from you, and that it's funded with all of our resources. And that's truly how we feel we'll form that partnership, having our resources, our cabinet secretaries help you further succeed. And the other part of it that's very important is to incentivize communities to participate in the program. Now, a city like New Bedford does have a lot of resources in this building, and you do a lot of innovative and good things, yet you still are finding new things and new ideas that you can put forward. In a community like Dartmouth, who may not have all of these resources available at your fingertips, you can use this as a way to strengthen the financial tools, the capital planning, the infrastructure planning for your community. And by doing so, you signal to our administration that you are a city that's preparing, or in a community that's preparing for success, that you have leadership, you have a plan and a vision, and that you are ready for opportunity. So by signing the compact, you put your communities in a more competitive position for the larger statewide grants that are available. You get bonus points for that, and we want to encourage more communities to follow your lead. The bonus points come around and are very important when we're considering MassWorks grant, which are the infrastructure funds that can fuel a private development with housing component and provide the infrastructure needed to really make something that come to fruition. Or it could be a complete streets grant or a parks grant, whatever your community is looking to invest in for your future. We will take that into consideration with the signing of a compact. So it just works on a whole lot of levels. In addition to you standing as examples to your peers across the state, you can go on our website and look at the map of the Commonwealth, and you'll see these yellow spots right across the state. And if you just click on any one of them, you'll see a community's compact and some of the things that they're looking to achieve. So you can learn from a community that's like yours, what are they trying to do, how are they pulling it together, and just to raise that bar a little higher and do a little bit more for the community that you serve. And when you think about why people choose to live in a certain area of the state, they certainly want to see great schools, they want to see safe neighborhoods to either raise their family or grow their business, and they want to see opportunity, they want to see jobs so that they can provide a good income and quality of life to their family. And through this program and others that we're working on as your state leadership, we will prepare communities for that level of success. And for the governor and I, we'll measure our success in seeing communities thrive from one end of the state to the other. We want Massachusetts to be great everywhere, not just in our capital city, but in every area of our Commonwealth. So it's very exciting for us to be seeing this program take off. We have over 150 applications. That represents over 300 best practices collectively. And today we signed number 66 and 67. So I'm very proud of you, and thank you for participating in the program.
All right, thank you so much. So, Yeah, so why don't we do this? In the interest of continuity, not to jump the gun on you, Sean, want to have Ari come up, just sketch out very briefly the best practices that New Bedford's going to be engaging in, and then I'll call you up, Sean, and then you can describe what Dartmouth's doing, and then we'll go put pen to paper. Come on, Ari Sky, our CFO.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. This is a really welcome occasion. We're very excited about this. I can say personally, one thing that I've really appreciated professionally and everything else has been the engagement that the Baker-Polito administration's had with local affairs, and it's been a very positive influence, I think, and we've seen it and really try to embrace it. The two areas that City of New Bedford is working on for its initial community compact agreement are a long-range financial plan, which is something that was highly advisable for any jurisdiction, but certainly to have some outside assistance and expertise is welcome, and a business continuity plan, which is a kind of disaster recovery plan, the next level up. The great thing about the business continuity plan is that the state has really worked with us and coordinated with other jurisdictions and everything to try to kind of come up with a model approach that we can use elsewhere in the state. And I imagine it'll be the same with the financial plan as well. So we're really very pleased and excited.
That's great.
Good. Awesome. Thanks,
Thank
Ari.
you very much. Thank you.
All right, with all that, as I said, a couple of things. It's that the administration deserves an enormous amount of credit for launching this, and regardless of the community, we can all 351 can raise their game for their residents, and we have more resources because of the scale of New Bedford, the 5th largest city in the state, but we've implemented a number of reforms, but there's always work to do, and Ari certainly and his team certainly deserve a lot of credit in that way, but we keep pushing. A lot of the same can be said for the town of Dartmouth, which is about a third of the size of New Bedford, is extraordinarily well managed, and strives to get better all the time. And one of the reasons that they keep it going is because of really good leadership like Selectman Sean McDonald, who I'll just ask to come on up and say a few words.
Great, thank you. I guess anytime you can have a working relationship with the Commonwealth between any municipality, whether it's a city or a town, is a good thing. Generally, that doesn't happen. Generally, it's adversarial. What can you do for me? What can I do for you? That type of thing. But this is a great initiative, and it really it's a time mark in the Commonwealth that you're seeing an administration that is reaching out to the communities and saying, what can we do for you? And it's a welcome relief, that's for sure. The town is more than ecstatic in signing this, especially with our neighbor, generally our offspring, we should say. The town has been around for a while. This year we're 351 years old. 4th largest community in the town. But to trump your solar, we are the #1 solar provider in the Commonwealth. You might be per capita, but we got the production beat you. So, but that in itself, it's a friendly thing. It's good to see New Bedford waking up. I grew up in New Bedford. I was born in New Bedford. My grandfather was a school committee member for the city for 27 years. He had a practice, and he and his wife had a dental practice in the city for years. I went to the Congdon School and the Roosevelt School. The city is close to my heart. I live in Dartmouth. My hometown is Dartmouth, but I was born in New Bedford. And it's good to see New Bedford on the rise. It is a keystone of this Commonwealth. I don't care what anybody says, it's the #1 port in this city. And it's a great community. It's part of a wonderful community to live in. And like I said before, it's nice to see a cooperative nature with the state, and it's something that we expect will continue with the Baker-Polito relationship. And Dartmouth is very pleased and very proud to be part of it. Thank you. As far as the financial practices, we just renewed our financial practice with the joint meeting that we had with the FinCom and the school committee. If Mr. Barnes will kind of give us a little bit as to where we're headed. Mr. Barnes is our finance director at the town. I'll be asking him to just come up here and just to give him just a little bit of where Dartmouth is looking for financially. Greg, if you'd like to say a few words.
Thank you, Sean.
Financially, the town of Dartmouth is strong. We're a AAA community. We achieved that in the last few years. We're looking at continued growth within the community. We do believe it will decrease in the next few years as we benefited tremendously from both solar and medical facilities, and particularly with the medical facilities, we think that boom is over with. But the town is strong, and we hope to maintain that strength in both our operating and capital budget processes. We believe that this compact will assist in that effort, both in terms of establishing better data standards, in terms of performance measurements, and as well as climate initiatives. So we thank the Commonwealth for this effort, and we hope that, as was noted, these are best practices. We can take the best practices we perfect at the local level and employ them throughout the state elsewhere.
That's great. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank
That's
you.
right. All right, so with all that, I think we can go ahead and start signing, right? Is there
Sounds good.
anything
That's
else?
the plan.
Okay, all right.
Ready? This is a team effort, so anyone that is